2 million signatures and counting. Well, we simply can't ignore this petition. I know a lot of people online are saying ignore the petition, and a lot of people are saying yes, but there was another one about revoking Article 50, which was Brexit. I'll come back to that in a moment. And I just think that this does warrant some level of attention. Now, I know a lot of people didn't vote for Labour, and therefore there'll be a lot of people that could potentially sign this petition. And likewise, a lot of people did vote for Labour. It's not like nobody voted for Labour. So welcome back. We're here on Secrets, Black Belt Barrister, off the record. Do make sure you subscribe. You get a bit more of a free-flowing conversation here and a few more free-flowing thoughts. Get that out. So 2 million signatures. We watched this together yesterday, go over 1 million signatures. And today, over 2 million. Now, I think if this probably had maybe 10 million signatures, then I think that might have some real impact. But then actually we've had a response to this from the Prime Minister himself. I'll play you a short snippet of this. I might chop it up a bit because, copyright and all. But let's take a listen to what his direct response to this was.
Absolutely. But are you now feeling the pressure? Because I think there's a petition that's currently
Your approval
online
ratings have dropped.
1.9 people who want the election to go again.
It's now over 2 million now? It's now just over 2 million.
Do you feel the pressure?
Look, I remind myself that very many people didn't vote Labour at the last election. I'm not surprised that many of them want a rerun. That isn't how our system works. There will be plenty of people who didn't want us in the first place.
And that's a fair point, and that's a fair response. I suppose, like I said, there are a lot of people that would not have voted for Labour. There are a lot of people that would sign this petition. But again, a lot of people did. And he is right in that he's got to make decisions on what to happen. But the point here, I think, is this. There are so many things that were said before the election. And now a lot of people feel they've gone back on it. A lot of people feel that they've lied. A lot of people feel that they just can't trust this government because they're not doing what they said they were going to do. They're doing, in many cases, the exact opposite. I think that is very much the problem here. But then there is also this point about the other petition, which was revoking Article 50 and remain in the EU. Come back to that in a moment. Now, just for a moment, I'm really excited to share with you that one of my partners is having a fantastic deal for this year's Black Week. They are giving away 3 custom PS5s with qualifying purchases. The details will be in the description below and on their website. It's a company called HOLY, because you might remember that I've said before that I gave up drinking alcohol, and believe it or not, that is now 14 months ago. And so I like to drink something different in the evening. Obviously, it used to be alcohol. It's not anymore. Not every evening, you understand, but most evenings I would have something or other. And so instead I've been drinking water, but water gets boring. So HOLY do energy drinks, not the usual kind of energy drinks that have got other stuff in there that you wouldn't want to drink. They are full of antioxidants and vitamins and so on. They do hydration drinks, and they do iced teas, because I like to have a nice tea in the evening. They do a huge range of flavours, including some new ones, one of which is Woodruff Wolf, which I'll leave you to surprise yourself with. A really interesting one called Double Apple Shisha, and a good old favourite, bubblegum. Now, the bubblegum one is really an old-fashioned bubblegum flavour that you probably remember from school, but is actually full of vitamins and antioxidants. They are really tangy and really delicious. Of course, as a partner to my channel here, not only do you get a discount with my codes in the description below, those being £5 off using the code SECRETS5, or 10% off just using the code SECRETS, but they're doing an amazing deal for Black Week, which is an additional £10 off the starter set deluxe. So you can try 42 servings of their best-selling flavours, and you get the shaker along with it. So like I said, if you're looking for a healthy alternative whilst you're perhaps giving up alcohol, as I did, these will be a fantastic choice for you. They'll keep you hydrated, they are tasty, they're enjoyable. Check it out, you won't regret it. So back to this EU petition. This had 6.1 million signatures, and this was to revoke Article 50 and remain in the EU. Now, a lot of people just said, a lot of people brushed it off and just said, this did nothing. A lot of people said there was 6 million signatures on here and it achieved nothing. Well, ultimately, the end result was nothing, and it went ahead, and the government response was the government will not revoke Article 50. We will honour the result in 2016 referendum and work with Parliament to deliver the deal that ensures we leave the European Union. There is a full response here. You can pause it, screenshot it, go to the website and look at it, read it, whatever. But to those that are saying this did nothing at all, that's not quite true, because actually you can, as you can see here, this links to a video over 3 hours long of a debate. Now, this was the debate over this petition about leaving the EU. And this went on for several hours. You can see here, you can go and watch the debate, listen to the debate if you like. The end result is nothing happened. And the government responded to say that they'll not revoke Article 50 and honour the commitment and ultimately leave the European Union. But so to those that said absolutely nothing happened with this petition, that's not quite true. So we may well see, despite what Keir Starmer says here, we may well see a feisty debate going on about calling a general election, because this so far, not unlike this petition that had over 6 million signatures, this petition now has over 2 million signatures. So it's still growing. So I will not be at all surprised if this does creep up towards 5-6 million signatures and does have a feisty debate, as the one you've just seen there for leaving the EU. And maybe it will get 10 million, maybe it will get 15 million. We don't know yet. We don't know how long this is going to continue growing for. One thing I can say for certain is that it continues to get more and more attention online. More and more news outlets are talking about it. I'm here talking about it. One reason I'm talking about it is because a lot of people said this one had no effect, no impact, nothing happened whatsoever. That's absolutely not true. This was debated quite strenuously, as you can probably hear if you go through and listen to it. And I'm going to leave you with one more snippet from this interview, and let me know what you think in the comments, because I'm not, although this is my secrets channel and my thoughts, what I think, I'm not going to tell you what I think on this. I'm going to ask you for what you think, because what Keir Starmer says here speaks to everybody and presumes to know what people genuinely think about it. So let me play it for you, and then let me know in the comments what you really think, because I'm interested to know whether you agree with what he says here. Listen to this.
But I do think in their heart of hearts, most people know if they've, as I say, turned around a business, an organisation, or even redoing your own house, you can give it a lick of paint quickly, and it probably doesn't make that much difference, or you can fix the foundations. I think people understand that if you run towards the difficult decisions to really strip it out, turn it around, then we will all feel the benefit. I'm not surprised, quite frankly, that as we're doing the tough stuff, there are plenty of people who say, well, I'm impacted, I don't like it.
And so what do you think? Because what he's essentially saying here is that he's got to break the mold, he's got to break everything first before he can put things back together, before things can work again. There is a logic to that, but the short term is certainly going to be very difficult, which, to be fair, is what he said when he's going to make difficult decisions, which is going to be painful, etc. But that's not what they said. I think the biggest problem that a lot of people have is that this is not what they said before they got into power, because I read today that they would almost certainly not have got into power had they said that beforehand. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Is this going to work? Is breaking everything down to rebuild it really going to work? Because that's what it feels like they're doing. It feels like they're breaking things down at the moment. It feels like they are going to break everything, break the mold, upset a lot of people. A lot of people will be worse off short term. If indeed it does get better long term, don't know. It's a bit of a speculation at the minute. But for now, there is certainly this gut-wrenching reaction, certainly by businesses, to say we're going to cut some jobs, we're going to increase prices, we're going to lower wages and all this sort of stuff in the short term at the very least. So like I say, let me know if that's how you feel. I mean, he talks of business people that have had to rebuild businesses or redecorate houses. I don't think you can really look at the two in the same way, but let's take business. If you had to rebuild a business, do you really break it down, or do you cut the costs first and then do you streamline and all that sort of stuff? I'm not entirely sure I agree with the analogy there, but I thought I'd share that with you because I saw this thing about the other petition going around about Article 50. And so I thought I'd ask you what you think. Leave me your comments below. And as always, thank you for watching.